Welcome back, action figure fans. We're going to be looking at 10 amazing Master of the Universe Classics figures today. These are some beautiful figures. Masters of the Universe Classics is probably the best He-Man toy line ever made. The figures just looked amazing. That's a Super 7 figure out of all these. That's a Super 7 in release. But the rest are, like I said, Masters of the Universe Classics. And most people consider this probably to be the best Masters of the Universe toy line out there. Okay, so King Grayskull. He's the man who built Castle Grayskull. And so this is called the Spirit of King Grayskull. And you can see why. He looks like a ghost, looks like a spirit. And he is. This is his spirit. He's not going to stand up if I let him go, so I'm just going to hold him. The cool thing about this figure, as you can probably tell, is he's a glow-in-the-dark figure, so you could imagine how awesome he looks when the lights are off and he's glowing. It's a great figure. They also have him, there's a version of him that's not a spirit. It's a normal-looking figure with flesh tones on it. I have both of them. But this Spirit of Castle, or the Spirit of King Grayskull, is just an amazing figure. It looks fantastic. It looks great. So, this is an amazing toy line right here. I would highly suggest you, if you have the money and the time, to go back and collect this line. You can still find some of these figures fairly decent price on eBay, but a lot of them have really shot up and are expensive. Okay, so here we have the Cosmic Enforcer. I know he's like supposedly a neutral character, but come on, he's a good guy. In the comic books, in the mini comics, in the cartoon, he's a good guy. He's not really seeking a balance between good and evil. Who would want that? Who would want the same amount of evil as good? So let's try to get rid of evil and have mostly good, right? Of course. But this is an amazing figure. He looks fantastic. And his sculpt is spot on. And he captures Zodak. I mean, he's an amazing looking Zodak. Great figure. Okay, so here we have Man-E-Faces, one of my favorites of all time. And I really like the color scheme on here. I like this bright purple, the contrasting with the orange there. This is a really good Man-E-Faces figure. And the monster has always been my favorite face to have on there. So he looks fantastic. All of these figures from this toy line look fantastic. But even here, some are, I think, they stand head and shoulders above other ones. But he's a really good, solid Man-E-Faces. One of the best that they have ever made. Okay, so this is Lord Plasmar. I don't really know much about this figure. I don't think he ever appeared in any cartoon. I don't know if he ever appeared in in a comic book. I haven't read every single comic book of Master of the Universe, but he came in a 3-pack, and it is very expensive, that 3-pack. I'm going to guess they didn't make a whole lot of these. I believe he was a PowerCon exclusive. I got him right when he came out on eBay. And overall, he looks really cool. To me, he looks like he could be the brother of Fisto, even though Fisto is the brother of Man-at-Arms. Looks like he could be another one of their brothers. Lord Plasmar is his name, and he is a heroic warrior, one of the good guys, so he looks cool. Now, I gotta admit, this is one of my all-time favorites. It might be, if I had to pick just one, the greatest single Master of the Universe figure, it might be this one right here. This is called Castle Grayskull Man, and it was created by a fan, won a contest to create a new character. And so this right here is I guess you could say, the spirit of Castle Grayskull. So imagine Castle Grayskull taking on a physical form, and this would be it. I mean, he looks like he would be a bad guy, but he's not. He's the spirit of Castle Grayskull. And look at his face. It's so cool. It's so amazing. It's like a little mini Castle Grayskull right there. And he's got his double swords. You can imagine those are some kind of power swords. And, you know, the sculpting on here, his armor looks just like the bricks in the castle. So do his hands and his feet. I mean, just the originality of this figure. This, in my humble opinion, is maybe the greatest, the coolest, the most awesome He-Man figure that you probably didn't know about. Okay. Now, if you don't have him in your collection, go get him. I mean, Castle Grayskull, man, you need him to be standing on top of your Castle Grayskull. Really do. Awesome. All right, moving on to my particularly favorite Trapjaw of all time. I remember back in the mid-'80s reading the mini comic that came with Trapjaw, and I wondered, why is Trapjaw blue as the toy, but in the comic book he was yellow? Okay, so in the comic book, the first appearance of Trapjaw, he looks just, you know, yellow like this. And so I always thought that this was so cool, this yellow Trapjaw. Always wanted one. And of course, they finally made one in this toy line first. And he came in a 3-pack. And then the Masters of the Universe Origins has also released a yellow version of Trapjaw. And it's quite amazing. But the eyes on this guy, the face on this guy, he looks like he is demented. Looks like he is absolutely insane. So if you've never read that mini comic, go find it, track it down. It's one of the coolest stories where Trapjaw, he acquires the power of Grayskull, and it takes He-Man and Skeletor working together to defeat him. It's a cool little story, man. And that is a awesome, awesome Trapjaw figure. My favorite. Okay, moving on to another really cool figure that hasn't really had much exposure. He's been in some comic books, some mini comics, is Goatman. And visually, Goatman looks really cool. I mean, that Warhammer he's wielding looks just brutal. And the face on this guy, he looks like a mini Skeletor. And so, you know, I would have loved to seen him in some of the old cartoons. Maybe he'll be in some of the new stuff. I think they're still making some new stuff. But wow, what a cool looking figure. One of my favorites. I love that guy. Goatman. Okay, so here we have, along with Lord Plasmar, that right there. This was the second figure in that box set. I'll pull out the third one of these times. And his name is Lord Grasp. I guess you can see why he's got that humongous, you know, looks like clawful claw there. I believe he is a snake man, technically a snake man. You can see the symbol there, the snake man on his chest, and he's got the little shield, the snake emblem on it. So he would technically be probably working for King Hiss. And I like him. I think he's visually really cool. I really like the claw on him. He looks more like a dinosaur man to me, really, with that head. But hey, he's an obscure character, Lord Grasp. Never heard of him before the 3-pack came out. I don't know what he, has been in a cartoon or a comic book or something like that. But visually, a very, very cool figure. All right. Now, this is a Super 7. Super 7 came after the Matty Collector Classics shut down. Super 7 went ahead and picked up the license, and they released quite a few figures, and this is one of them. His name is Lodar, and I remember him from the mini comics. He appeared there, and he was some kind of gladiatorial warrior, and he's a cool, very, very cool looking figure, but he's in the same style. The Super 7 did the same style as the other classics, so really you can lump them in with the classics. They're the same style, same size, and they just fit in with the classics line perfect. So I think that you just count them as part of that classics line. It's a continuation. So Super 7 did a great job with these figures, and Lodar is a really good one. I like him. Okay, the last one I have here for you is the Spirit of Hordak. And I really like it. I like the all red. You could imagine him as not a ghost, but some kind of projection of his evil spirit out there. I don't quite know if he's supposed to be dead or something like that, or if he, like I said, just using his magic to project his consciousness someplace. But regardless, this is a cool figure. And, you know, I do have all the other Hordak figures, and so I like to have all of them. And this is a good one. I think it looks cool with your other Hordak figures. The Spirit of Hordak. Nice sculpting on that. This line did such an amazing job with the sculpting. All right, guys. So there you go. That's the 10 figures for today. 5 good guys and 5 bad guys. If you like this, please check out my other videos. I have quite a few of them out there now, and remember, I'm making them for you. Leave me a comment if you want to. Tell me what you like about my videos, something you might like to see. All right, take care.